Peace and love, YouTube fam. It's been a little minute since I did one of these, but welcome to your monthly reading. This is for the month of June 2024. However, if you see this at a later date, take it as it resonates, as all of my reads are timeless, okay? Today, I'm actually going to be using 5 decks. I'm going to be using the Heavenly Bodies Astrology Oracle, which looks like this. Okay, we've got the Secrets of the Ancestors, the Medicine Woman Oracle, the Untethered Soul deck, and last but not least, we're going to pull a crystal card from this crystal playing card deck. So let's see what's in store for us for June. Creator of all that is, I call on you now, asking that you lead me, guide me, shield me with your unconditional love and protection, allowing your beautiful light to shine through me, aligning my energetic field such that I am able to convey the messages for the highest and greatest good of the collective. Calling on Archangel Michael, I ask that those messages and messengers which are for my highest and greatest good only be allowed to come through now. This includes my ancestors, highest vibrationally healed loved ones, angels, archangels, guides, fairies, and all those here to serve alongside my soul's evolutionary path. And with the breath, I release that which does not serve me, my highest, greatest good, or those involved, gathered here now to take in these messages. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So, we're going to start with the Astrology Oracle and see what energy is a gift for us to work with this month. Now, it is Gemini season right now, which I think of Gemini as a playful and mercurial energy. It is fast moving air energy. So a lot can happen in a short span of time. And there's lots of opportunity to open and expand the mind. So let's see what wants to come forth for. Okay. 2 cards flew out together, actually, and they did show up in the upright position. We got Chiron, heal and hurt. Oh, hurt and heal. Excuse me, hurt and heal. And we also got Aquarius. This says originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. Chiron, if you all are familiar with, Chiron is called the wounded healer in astrology, and it represents an area in which we may have been hurt, and therefore it allows us to shine light on that wounding in order to transform and bring healing energy to that part of our life, as well as possibly the lives of others. With the Aquarius card coming out at the same time as the Chiron card, perhaps this is a time for us collectively and individually, as Aquarius is very much a sign about the synchronicity, or rather synchronization, between ourselves as individuals and bridging our own ideals with that of the collective, using our individuality to bring reform to the world at large. And so with this coming out together with Chiron, man, that speaks volumes. Okay, so first starting with the individual level, where have you perhaps been hurt when sharing your own original excuse me, where have you perhaps been wounded when sharing your own original thoughts? Have you been shut down? Perhaps there's art, perhaps there is just something you voiced that was not a popular opinion and it was shut down by those around you. How can you explore your mind, your truths, your ideals, and amplify your voice or bring your voice out to the world at large without being stymied, without worrying about the criticism of others? How can you shine your light in spite of criticism from others or differing opinions? Because you weren't meant to conform. We weren't meant to conform. While there are systems and such in place that encourage us to conform, that is not our natural state as humans, as individuals. We are meant to be individuals, but in community, if that makes sense. So how can you be yourself, be a star, and be among other people? Like, you know, for an example, sometimes people will have an idea that seems very much like, oh, it's been done before, right? But the thing that makes it unique, whatever you're bringing forth, is the fact that it's coming from you, is your own spin on it, your energetic touch. So someone might paint a mural and it has stars all over it and a blue sky, but your version of that same thing may be poignant. It may include texture and lighting and color play that another artist's depiction did not. How can you allow for expansion in your imagination and perhaps look upon those that are different from you and acknowledge their truth at the same time honoring your own? We can honor others' truth, others' existence, others' point of view without agreeing with it. We can respect it, we can ponder it, and we can allow it to expand our world. So that is what I'm getting from the Chiron and the Aquarius cards that came out. Now, as far as the messages from our ancestors today, let's see what ancestral energy wants to come forth for the collective, and how we can utilize this energy in the month of June. Oh, one thing I do want to speak on as well while I shuffle these cards is that this month, June, is a King of Clubs month. For any of you guys who are familiar with cardology, the King of Clubs is one of the master teacher cards. And so this is a great month to take on the task of teaching or perhaps to learn something new. If there is something that you put off for a while learning or diving deep with, this may be a good time to revisit. Now, the thing about us being in Gemini season still is that so many ideas may come flooding and they may be fleeting. So it would be helpful to perhaps write down ideas, perhaps record. Sometimes I do voice memos when I want to get something down, but I don't have paper around me, or it just feels like it'll be easier to vocalize it. And with us being in Gemini season, you may have a lot that bubbles up that you can learn, that you can explore, that you can teach. Write them down. You can revisit them later, but if there's one particular thing that's been calling to you, now would be a good time to start putting yourself out there. Okay, so the ancestral energy that came forth for us today is the altar of water. Love overflowing. This is card number 27, which when we reduce that card, it adds up to 9. 9 is part of the cycles, like 3, 6, 9. 9 is completion. 9 is wish fulfillment. 9 can also be endings, but guess what? Endings lead to new beginnings. So this card did show up in the reverse. I'm gonna let you guys just get a better view real quick of this card. Look at that gorgeous purple and gold energy in there. Yes, royalty. Okay, so when I look at this card, one of the first things that I think about is spiritual hygiene. And this is something that's been coming up a lot lately, spiritual hygiene. One good spiritual hygiene tip is to keep a vessel of water around you, whether that's a bowl, whether that's a cup, a chalice, or what have you. Your choice. Keep water around you, especially when you're engaging in especially when you're engaging in spiritual practice. If you're someone who works with others, who gives readings, who does some kind of energetic cleansing with others, or simply if you're someone who lives in the modern day, goes out to the world and comes home feeling mucky or feeling like your energy is off, water is your best friend. Water can be used, like I said, if you have it in a vessel around you, water will absorb energy. You can actually put water near or under your bed to absorb any energy as you sleep, to absorb any negative energy that comes up in a dream or nightmare. You can also, when you cleanse yourself with water or when you drink water, you can speak over it, and that instills beautiful energy in that water. And when you drink it, it actually tastes sweeter. So my message simply is, don't underestimate the power of water in your spiritual hygiene and in your ritual. Now, with this card, the altar of water, the theme is love overflowing. And with this card having shown up in the reverse, maybe some of us haven't been pouring into our own cups enough, but we've been running ragged, pouring from an empty cup. Okay? And what happens when you pour from an empty cup? You're drained, and the quality of the energy that you give to others, that you give to the things that you do, is very, very, very much diminished or diluted. So I invite you to really pour love into yourself this month, to really take that extra few minutes in the daytime before you go to work, getting ready if you go to work. Take that extra time for you before going out into the world. You'll feel better for it by the time the month is out. Additionally, I would say that if there are connections that can stand to be fortified with more love, perhaps some places where there's been apprehension, maybe revisit these relationships and ponder whether you need to rinse your hands clean of it or whether you need to pour more love into it. So again, that's the altar of water, love overflowing. And I think I also want to just look and see what guidance what guidance the guidebook has for this card. So let's check it out. Divine love, romantic love, communal love. Every kind of love is pouring through you. This is the beginning of something beautiful. Make way for the joy of new love. This new relationship can be a friendship or a new suitor. It could even be a career partnership that you love, or even a renewed love for an already existing person or situation in your life. Either way, you are worthy and deserving of this magnificent new blessing. The water ancestors represent emotions. Allow the seeds of joy to blossom. With the energy of boundless love, what can you give back to your community? Ancestral medicine. With this showing up in the reverse, I think we need to hear the ancestral medicine message. So, as well as the shadow aspect, which is the reverse. So I'll read the sweetness and the reverse. Libation is an act of love. Pour libations for your ancestors. Something new is being born. Every birth expands and evolves your lineage. Most use blessed water or alcohol to pour libations from a glass, calabash, or bowl. Libations in some cultures can also be poured in reverence with rice or even tea. With this showing up in the shadow aspect, which is the reverse aspect, here's your message. You are holding back on love. But the question is, are you holding back on love for someone else, or are you holding back on love for yourself? Your self-love is not what it could be, beautiful. It's time to turn the love inward. Have compassion for yourself. Care for you. And then allow that love to flow naturally outward. Here's your declaration. I trust the guidance of my heart. And this card actually corresponds to the Ace of Hearts. Excuse me, the Ace of Cups. I'm thinking cardology. This corresponds to the Ace of Cups, which would be the Ace of Hearts in astrology, cardology rather. And so this is about new love or renewed love, starting with the self, starting with the I. Because once you have it with I, then you can pour into the we. Okay, now let's get our card from the Ancestral Medicine Woman deck. This is one of my favorite decks that I've been gifted. Let's see what wants to come forth from this. I love this deck for working with divine feminine energy, and don't get it twisted. Male, female, however you may identify, we all have divine feminine energy in us, just as we have divine masculine energy in us. Sometimes the volume is just turned up a little more on one than the other. So let's see what medicine this deck wants to give to us today. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. We got the Winter card, card number 22. 22 breaks down to 4, which is all about solid ground, stability, home, family, structure. Okay. So, but it's also master number 22, so you can look more into that if you'd like. This is the Winter card. It is a time for turning inward, rest in silence. Now, this card coming out in Gemini season, I totally understand, because June is like the start of the summer. We have the summer solstice coming up soon. And with June, with it being summer soon, energy speeds up, and we as humans also are a lot more adventurous, a lot more into activities, a lot more involved with each other. So there's a lot of activity happening within us and around us. So we are being encouraged to balance all of that activity with rest, to allow ourselves to flowing in and out of this fun, this activity, this playfulness and exploration that Gemini season is bringing us. This is encouragement for you to slow down sometimes, for you to, again, pour into you before you go out and pour into others. And keep those boundaries firm. It is okay to say no. In fact, I encourage it when it's felt. Okay. Let's get a message from the Untethered Soul deck. And let me see if there's anything special in this guidebook regarding card number 22 that you may be able to take with you. Whatever the season you're in right now, this card indicates a time of rest, of silence. During this period, the world of tomorrow is being created in you. By forging ties with the medicine woman inside you, you can give yourself a time of introspection, an inner journey. A promise of renewal is in the works. An adventure is waiting for you, one that only your heart knows. Strengthen your inner light to illuminate the way ahead, which will be revealed to you. This season is also the time for stories. Invoke tales and legends to rekindle the flame of the unseen world and of your own roots. In an echo of the winter season and the great silence associated with it, retire into the cave of dreams for a time of inner visions. Light a candle symbolizing your light. Take up your drum or inspiring music to bring on an altered state of consciousness. Breathe in frankincense essential oil to connect to your celestial roots. Visualize a sacred cave. Envision your request to the fairy realm. Something inside me sleeps in deepest secrecy. Thank you for the visions, your messages. Let things arise on their own. Write them down in your notebook, and in the days that follow, observe what comes to support your dream. Give thanks. Make an offering to the fairy realm, a poem, song, or candle. So take what resonates from that, and maybe it'll inspire a practice or ritual for you. Okay? Let's pull a card from the Untethered Soul deck. If you are a fan of this book, then I encourage you to get the deck because it's fun and it really highlights the same principles. So let's see. Spirit, what do we need to hear right now? Thank you for your guidance. Thank you. Okay. We got a card from the Awakening Consciousness theme. It says, the one inside who is aware that you are always talking to yourself about yourself is always silent. It is a doorway to the depths of your being. I'll read that again. The one inside who is aware that you are always talking to yourself about yourself is always silent. It is a doorway to the depths of your being. What I get from this is that intentional silence and stillness invites you into a world where you can get to know who you are at your core, where you can explore your imagination in a way that you simply cannot in noise or in chaos, and that there is a great deal of awareness within you that you can connect with when you are able to be quiet. So take what resonates from that card, and maybe you have your own ideas about what that card means. Last but not least, I am going to pull a card from these crystal playing cards and see what crystal spirit is speaking to us for this month. Thank you, Spirit Guides, Angels. What crystal spirit is to speak to us? Is that all? Okay. Emerald. Protection, love, and wisdom. Emerald. And this is showing up as the King of Hearts. Now, the King of Hearts in cardology is the master of emotions. It is a card of great emotional intelligence, a card of great love. It is also the Father card. And when you think about the love that can be bestowed upon a child from their father, that's an energy that you can connect with. And I see why this is associated with the emerald, with these keywords here: protection, love, and wisdom, because I feel that is what a father is meant to provide for his children: protection, love, and wisdom, among other things. But I think if we were to just keep it pretty brief, that's very spot on. Now, this emerald is also green, and hearts are associated with emotions, right? And this green is associated with the heart chakra. So I encourage you throughout this month of June, which is a King of Clubs month, and with it being a Kings of Clubs month, we can kind of see the worst come out of people at times. We can see bullying. So I would encourage you to expand your heart, your capacity, your compassion, so that you aren't out here being one of the bullies. And hopefully when you see something, you say something. Yeah, that's really all I have to say for Emerald or for this reading. So I will leave a picture of all of the cards at the end of this recording, so that you can look at them yourself a couple more times. And I invite you, if you haven't already, to like this video, to subscribe if you'd like to stick around for more like this, and leave a comment and let me know if this resonates with you throughout the month. Last but certainly not least, I invite you to check out my website, where you can get beautiful crafted items such as my Reiki infused whipped body butter. It is a non-greasy formula, perfect for the summer. It adds a beautiful glow to your skin. It absorbs really well, and it is something that my customers really love. I have repeat customers who continue to bless me with their raving reviews. I also sell art prints. I sell beard and body oil. essential oil roll-ons with crystals, which are intentional. And I also do one-on-one readings, Reiki, and sound healing sessions. So if you're interested in anything like that, feel free to check out my website, leave a comment, or DM me. All right, I hope that this month treats you beautifully. Peace.